there, welcome to Law of Attraction Tips. I'm your host, Karen Lanou. Today I'm going to start with the first of a special series of podcast interviews with Harv Eker. Using the principle he teaches, Harv Eker went from zero to a millionaire in only 2.5 years. Harv Eker is the founder and president of Peak Potentials Training and the fastest growing personal development company in North America. He's the author of the best-selling books Secrets of the Millionaire Mind and Speed Wealth, and he's also developed several highly acclaimed courses such as the Millionaire Mind Intensive, Life Directions, and Wizard Training. He's also the producer and trainer of the world-famous Enlightened Warrior Training, and I'm so excited to have him here today. In today's podcast, Harv is going to talk about our money set point, how our belief systems create our money blueprint, which is something we can all change, which is really great news. Harv has also very graciously made a special offer for my listeners, a giveaway. So what you want to do is go, after you listen to this, and if you're interested, go and check it out on my website, thelawofattractioncenter.com, and go to the Resources tab at the top of the page. So again, thelawofattractioncenter.com, and go to the Resources page. And in there I'll have a link to Harv's giveaway. There are going to be also more details at the end of the podcast on how you gain access to more of Harv. So sit back, listen, and enjoy. This is the first of a series of podcasts I'll be doing with Harv Eker. You're just really going to feel his energy right away. So again, just sit back and listen. I think you'll really enjoy this.
Okay, Harv, thanks so much again for being with us today. Let's get started. So I have a number of questions for you today. So you went from broke to millionaire in less than 3 years. What did you do to achieve that?
Well, I spent a lot of my early formative years wanting to be successful, wanting to be rich. My parents came from Europe, actually, and they came with $30 to their net worth, and that was mostly in food. I think they brought in bags. So I grew up where money meant survival. If you didn't have money, you were basically dead. And all my friends wanted to be firemen and policemen and baseball players. I just wanted to be a millionaire. I didn't even know what it was. And of course, I left school early at the end of first year of college and went out to make my fortune. And guess what? It didn't happen. And I spent literally 12 years doing nothing but struggling financially. So I know what that's like. And it's as far as I'm concerned, it's a drag, especially now having been on the other side, thank God. For myself, I finally got the understanding that I needed to study rich people, and so I studied rich business people, and I learned some very, very specific principles, and I went out and I put them to the test, and I opened one of the first retail fitness stores in the entire North America, and with a $2,000 credit card loan, and just 2.5 years later, I was a millionaire. So, it worked out very well for me, but unfortunately, believe it or not, it was another 1.5 years after, and most of that money was gone. And that's when I came across this amazing discovery.
Wow. So what did you discover?
Well, people ask me about this whole thing, and what I discovered was, that again, talk about serendipity. Every day in my fitness stores, I talked about something called a set point when it comes to your weight, a metabolic set point that you'd have to change in order to have a permanent change in your weight. And so here I was, I'd lost my money again, and I was looking at my bank book, and sure enough, I had come back to the same place I started with. And I looked through my bank book over the last 15 years, and up and down, but it always came back to the same amount, very, within a few dollars. And I said, oh my gosh, it was like an aha moment. It was like given to me. And I said, in the same way that we have a set point when it comes to our weight, we must have a set point when it comes to our money too, and this is mine. And so I realized we have a set point when it comes to our money that I now call our money blueprint.
Wow, so where did you go from there?
Well, from there, basically, again, serendipitously, I just so happened to be working on myself and my belief systems and my mindset and the way I was thinking about things, which, of course, then leads to your feelings and actions, which I now state. And I was doing that not to become rich. I was doing that to become a better father. I had a newborn son. He was, a few months old, and I already, believe it or not, was not happy with the way I was speaking with him. And I swore that I would never speak to my son the way my father spoke with me. My dad's a great guy, but he came from a different era, and he was extremely critical and very angry. And so here I was talking to my new son, who was a few months old, in this tone, and I said, "Oh my God, you've got some serious issues." And so I began working on myself and very heavily on the way I thought, the way I felt about things, releasing a lot of anger, and I began using some of these tremendous methodologies, modalities that were changing my belief systems about who I am in the world, my worthiness, my way of thinking about my life, my way of thinking about my family, my way of appreciation, attractions, that type of thing. And I started putting all these principles to use in my money, and sure enough, it started coming back quickly, and thank God that was many years ago, literally almost 20 years ago, and since then it's gone nothing but skyrocket and flourish. And I said, these principles work for money. And so I began, because I had some major success now, started teaching people business principles, and then from there I started teaching people the money reconditioning, money reprogramming methodologies, and putting people into a seminar room and to see if it were. I never promised anybody it would work for them. I said, this is what changed my life. If you want, you can try it with me, because I was already teaching them business, which they were very, very fond of. And sure enough, everybody's results started to skyrocket, just like mine. And it's never stopped. And today, thank goodness, we've done over almost 1 million people from 83 countries all around the world have taken this one specific program that actually changes your money blueprint on a permanent level, so that you're now reset for natural and automatic success. And it's just a totally normal thing for you to be financially successful than not.
Wow. So how do people change their financial thermostat?
By doing their specific course. I wish, I have a book called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind that, again, is almost close to 1 million seller. Number one New York Times, number one Wall Street Journal, and number one USA Today. And I thank everybody for helping out with that. But, and people tell me wherever I go, oh, my God, the book changed my life, yada, yada. And I go, wow, I can't believe just the book. But I'll tell you what, when people go to this 3-day seminar on site, when we can get you on site, we use methodologies, extremely effective process work that are fun, that are exciting, but by the end of the 3 days, your money blueprint is changed. Your money set point is different, and we can reset that set point with some very, very specific processes and exercises that we do right there on site, right on the spot. You actually walk in with your blueprint set for one level of success. You walk out with a brand new blueprint set for massive success. And here's the best part, to keep it and to grow it. And those are different blueprints, by the way.
Amazing successes. And I know I've known people who have gone to your workshops and they've just come back completely pumped up and ready to go. So,
it just makes sense, because if you take a look at it, people say, well, give me an example of how this blueprint works. Well, and here's the thing, so I always say, I'm very well known in radio and television for making the following statement. It's this: give me 5 minutes with anyone, and I can predict your financial future for the rest of your life. Again, how? By identifying your money blueprint. So each of us has a personal money blueprint already ingrained in our subconscious mind, and it's this blueprint, as I was saying, this set point, more than anything else that will determine your financial life. So, you can know everything about business and everything about real estate and everything about stocks, and you can be the best at your job, but if you're subconscious, and this is what's the key here, it's all subconscious, just like your heart or your lungs breathing, or it's all subconscious. And your subconscious money blueprint isn't preset for a high level of success, you will never amass a large amount of money, and if by chance you do, you'll somehow manage to lose it. Can I give you an example of that?
Oh, please do.
So, as we know, we all know this gentleman by the name of Donald Trump. At least if you haven't been under a rock, you know who he is. And here's this guy, he's this multi-billionaire who loses everything and more, and 2 years later he's got it all back again and way more. Why? Because his subconscious money blueprint is set for high. Now, on the other side of the coin, we have lottery winners. All right? And what is their story? We all know the story. They win $5, $10, $50, $100 million. 5 years later, virtually half of them are right back to where they started. Why? Their subconscious money blueprint is set for low. And so here's the thing. What most people don't realize is that we were all taught, I repeat, taught, conditioned on how to do money. See, nobody comes out of the womb doing money. We were all taught how to do it. And unfortunately, many of us were taught by people who didn't have a lot of money, or they had a lot of emotional issues or non-supportive ways of thinking or negative habits around it. Their ways of being and thinking automatically imprinted in us and became our ways in some form or another, and now we just subconsciously, automatically run our money and run how we think about money, how we feel about money, our belief systems around money, and our actions and decisions around money in the same way we were taught how to do it. No matter what people say to me, I still say, where'd you learn how to do that? Where'd you learn to make that kind of decision? Are you a spender or a saver? Are you a hoarder? Are you an investor or a non-investor? You manage your money well, not manage your money well? You know, all those things are all, do you trust people with money? Are you distrustful? Do you have a nice balance in your life? Or you work really, really hard? All of that is learned. And the beautiful part about all of this is it can all be changed. You can actually change your blueprint on a permanent level simply by, I'd say, starting with the book and then going to the 3-day program, because that's the only way I know how to do it.
In terms of figuring out how people's or where people's financial thermostats are set, how can they tell?
Well, again, the easiest way is look at your results. I mean, hey, if the temperature, the way I like to say it is, if the temperature in the room is set for 72 degrees, chances are, I mean, again, if the thermostat is set for 72 degrees, chances are that the temperature is what? 72. Here's where it gets interesting. You know, is it possible, because it's very hot outside and the windows are open, that the temperature in that room could say, hey, go to 77 degrees? And the answer is, of course, yes. But what will eventually happen? The thermostat will kick in automatically and drive that temperature right back down to 72. Conversely, is it possible that the windows are open and that then it's very cold outside and the temperature in that room can go to, say, 65 degrees? And the answer, of course, is yes. But what will eventually happen? The thermostat will kick in automatically and drive that temperature right back to 72, meaning that the only way to permanently, and again, permanently change your financial the temperature in that room is to change that thermostat in the same way with yourself. The only way to permanently change your money set point, your money temperature, is to change the thermostat, otherwise known as your money blueprint. And again, that's what we're able to do for people.
Oh, that's just absolutely fascinating.
It's a blessing to do this. I mean, people say to me all the time, Harv, why do you do this? You know, you're multi, and I could go on for a few minutes, millionaire. Why do you bother doing this anymore? And I got to be honest with you. I mean, part of it is out of mission, and the other part is out of fear. I recognized when I wasn't doing well, Karen, that, you know, I had blown up my fourth business in 4 years. And just because now I know why. I didn't know what I was doing, although I thought I did, right? And one day I was really bawling. I was outside lying at a pool at my mother's condominium in Florida because I didn't have any more money for rent. And I was crying. I couldn't stop wiping the tears from my eyes. How could I do this? How could someone who supposedly felt they were decent person, kind person, semi-smart, decent looking, whatever, and have this happening to them over and over and over again? It was the most important thing in my life at the time. Of course, now my family is, but, I really some people who aren't successful, they don't want success. It's not important to them. Okay, great. But I'll tell you what, that wasn't me, and success was my worthiness at the time. Of course, now it's not, and I looked up to the sky and I simply said, God, somehow, if you help me, and I'm not even a religious person, but I started to pray as if you somehow help me make it. I promise you, I swear I will help other people in the same way that I got helped, and that's what I'm doing, because I came out of nowhere to have this incredible success, and it's all due to this inner work, to this inner game of money, to this financial thermostat reset, and to be blessed with the ability to have done this for myself, and be blessed with the ability to help almost 1 million people. Like we just did Asia just a few months ago. We had, in a 3-day course, listen to this, 5,642 paid people in a course for 3 days.
Wow.
That's unheard of. And,
yeah, that's
and we don't
incredible.
advertise. We don't have any advertising. It's all word of mouth. And once we go into one city, and we have 500 people, the next time we have 2,000 people. I mean, it's because it works and you know what? It's the root. I have to say this. It is if people have done lots of other work, great, and you should do work. You should be learning and growing all the time. You should be learning skills and knowledge and growing yourself and working on your information and on marketing and business and in techniques and strategies for negotiation and for real estate and for any other vehicle you're working at. But I'll tell you what, all of those things, and we teach a lot of those things too, by the way, but we don't let anybody into those courses until we've worked on their money blueprint. Why? Because that is the root cause of whether someone will be financially successful, unsuccessful, or mediocre will be where your blueprint is set, will be where your financial set point, your money thermostat is set. No matter what else you learn, you will not be able to put it into practice. And if you do, like I said, you'll sabotage it somehow, or someone else will sabotage it for you to make sure you go back to the same temperature. That thermostat will keep kicking in for the rest of your life until you reset it. And that's why this work is so important, and that's why I do it.
Oh, that's fascinating. It's got to be very, very rewarding. Okay, well, thanks so much, Harv. I think we'll wrap up. And again, I just wanted to thank you so much for joining us and just sharing your information with us today. And again, just the great giveaway in the book. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that.
Thank you for having me. To order copies of Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, my book, and to obtain the 2 complimentary Millionaire Mind tickets to the workshop and register for the program, all you have to do is visit Karen's website at www.theLawOfAttractionCenter.com. Again, that's www.theLawOfAttractionCenter.com.